So, Karishma, I mean, I've been
Right.
reading so much about you.
Hmm.
You seem to be doing a lot of work and a lot of work internationally. Tell me a little about where you're from and how you sort of got onto the global map in a way.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for first of all interviewing me. I'm glad it worked out. I'm a girl born in London. I'm Gujarati. My dad is from Bombay. My mom's from East Africa, but they're both Gujaratis, born and raised in England. And when I was studying and doing my degree in advertising and marketing, I used to do modeling part time. And once I finished my degree, I was offered the Kingfisher swimsuit calendar. So I thought, let me take a year out of, before I start my job in advertising. And then I wanted to be a teacher also in between, but then 1 year became the rest of my life. And that's how I came to India in 2006. When I started with the
Which year
Kingfisher
were you in
swimsuit.
the Kingfisher? Sorry, which year
2000,
were you on the King?
2006 with Deepika Padukone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was
Mm,
that was a super year, huh?
yeah, super year. And then after that, I mean, then I started doing modeling, did the Lakme Fashion Week. I became the face of Dove. I was with an excellent agency called Matrix, and they really
Oh,
looked
yes.
after their girls. Yeah. Reshma and Abdul,
Reshma Shetty. Yeah.
yeah, they really, really looked after all of us and gave us great opportunities. So after the Kingfisher calendar, I became the face of Dove. Then I did a movie with Chiranjeevi, which was Lagero Munnaba in Telugu, directed by Prabhu Deva. But I always enjoyed anchoring more than acting. So I think eventually that's what, is my career right now as a full-time
Right.
host. Yeah.
Yeah, and you host based out of London or Dubai or Mumbai, where?
I am all over. So I lived in Bombay for 15 years. And then after COVID, I decided to head back to London. So now I'm in London, but I have been to India like 14 times this year. So it's like I'm everywhere. I think when you are working in cricket and sports, all the
Yeah,
cricketers are all over the world, right? So even our Indian cricketers are now living in Dubai or like they live in the UK. So it's like you don't have to, once you've established yourself, and you don't have to particularly be anywhere. I just go wherever the work
right.
takes me. So no month is the same. For example, right now I'm in Dubai because I'm going to host the Abu Dhabi T10 after 15 days. But I am now going to
Wow.
Thailand next week for a corporate event. And then after I come back from Abu Dhabi, I'm in Delhi. So there's never like a guarantee. But I think if you're like, it took a long time to establish myself to be in this position. It's not like it
Position
happened.
to pick and
Yeah.
choose. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't happen like overnight. I've done the rounds of auditions and meetings and worked for peanuts. It's like I think the journey has been quite like up and down, but now I feel a little bit of like I think I'm okay. I think it takes a long time to become an overnight success in whatever you do.
That's very well said.
Yeah, it's not कि अच्छा आप यहाँ पे रहकर वहाँ पे काम करते हो. It's not like that. It's been 15 years of missing Diwali, Christmas, New Year's, birthdays, and just auditioning and doing meetings to finally say, okay, I can be in London for 3 weeks. I don't need to be in India. I can be wherever I want to be.
Right. But
Yeah.
what made you leave Mumbai? And what made you stay for 15 years? That's one. And then what made you leave? 15 years
Nothing.
is a long time in a city.
Yeah, 15 years is a long time in a city. Because every time I wanted to leave, another job would come, another job would
Ah,
come, another job would come. And then you become greedy and then you have FOMO and you think if I'm not here, are people going to remember me? But now,
right.
thanks to social media, you can be anywhere. And if people want you, they'll want you. But I think what made me leave was I went back home for a few months during COVID. And I think honestly, like family's family. I eventually just went back to my mom and my brother. I think that's the honest truth that I love Bombay. I was in a boarding school in India, so I love both the cities equally. It's wherever my mom is. If she decided tomorrow, let's live in Bombay, I would be back. If she was like, I'll come to Dubai, I'd be here. Because I think parents are also getting older. Like I don't want to be
Yeah,
somebody who's in a lovely apartment in Bandra, but my mom and brother are elsewhere. And this works well for me because when you are an anchor, cricket leagues are 10, 15 days, you work for 15, 20 days, you make good money and you go home for a month. Whereas in Bombay, it was 100% home, but I still think, it was like missing my little my dog, my mom, my brother. So I think it's that really. It's tiring to do what I'm doing, but it's okay.
and also I think the spirit of Bombay is different. You have to hustle all the time, right?
You have to hustle all the time. But I also feel like when you're in a place that's not your home, you also feel like if you're not even working for a week, that you're not doing enough. Or else if you're home, it doesn't matter if you're not working, you're home. So I
Right.
think home is whatever you find home. So, but I do think Bombay is a place that gives everybody work. You could go with like an idea of becoming an actor and becoming a director or a writer or a producer. It is a city that definitely gives you a lot. Like it's a place that you won't go back empty.
Right. And it gave you a career that perhaps you'd not thought of ever, right?
Yeah,
Were you interested in
never,
cricket?
never. No, I think honestly, when you are from like England and it's a bit of like diaspora, people have left India to come to England, like my parents in the 70s. So you hold on to your roots with Bollywood and you hold on to your roots with movies and cricket. So therefore you are more attached to Indian things. So therefore it brought us all closer together. So if India was playing, we would all watch it and we would love it. But I was
Where did
probably
you
more
grow
into
up
Test cricket than
exactly
the
in England? Where did you grow up?
London. I grew up in
Okay,
London in the North London, yeah, proper North London.
right. And you went to
Yeah.
school where?
I went to school in London. I did my college and university in London. But when I was young, between 9 and 11, I was in a boarding school in Panchkini in a convent, St. Joseph's. It's quite a famous
Oh,
convent.
yes, of course. I think it has a lot of famous students.
Yes, yes. Well, I was there. So basically, when I moved to India, like many years ago, I didn't feel like, oh, there's a big difference because I was always used to being in Bombay with my parents. We would travel between London and India. So it was a culture shock for me.
Hmm.
I think age just makes you realize where you want to be afterwards. I think it's just growing up where you're like, okay, I love this, but a lot of my friends from Bombay have decided to move to Goa or go somewhere else. It's a place where you don't always like have to continue being if you're established, if you don't want to be.
But I wonder what the early years were like and how much you've sort of grown in confidence and you've learned to say no or you've learned to say yes. These are things that come to you
Yeah.
after a whole lot of trial and error, right? I mean, nothing
Yeah, of
is,
course.
you don't learn these lessons immediately. So what were the
100%. I
early
think
years like?
early years in Bombay was very new. I think agencies had just started to come.
They
There
just
was Elite and there
started
was
and
Matrix.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the
So
industry
I
was
was
also sort of just growing.
Yes, yes. So I think I was very clear that it was really weird. I moved to Bombay. I came to Bombay for like a month. I had done some fashion shows in England and I came to Bombay for a month and I literally bought magazines like Elle and Femina and I looked at the costume designer and the makeup artist and the fashion editor and I would call them. I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Karishma. I've moved to India. I do modeling in London. Can I please come and see you?" And I went to all of these offices and then I did a shoot for Elle magazine. And they said to me, there's two agencies called Matrix and Elite. Why don't you join them? And
Right.
back then it
Was
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 like,
Nonita the editor then at Elle, or who was the
yes,
editor?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
And there was a couple of people who were like, you should join an agency. So then I went and met Elite, and then I went and met Matrix, and I never heard back from them for like about a month and a half. And I remember twiddling my thumbs, thinking, what am I doing here? Like, how do people get on television, or how do they get into magazines? Like, how do I do this? And then one fine day I got a call from Matrix and they were like, we want you to do the Kingfisher swimsuit calendar. You have to train for a month and a half. And I went to the office and I had to get a work visa. Um, Luckily, my dad was like, you can get an OCI. I had no idea. I had not like imagine. And when there are these stories, like I went to a city and I had like 1,000 rupees. It literally was like that. I had nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I think when I joined Matrix and I signed the Kingfisher calendar, we started to train. We were going to the gym, we were eating well. And then you meet people. I met Deepika, I met other models. You're learning from them. And then you get signed for fashion shows. And then you kind of find your way. Um, but it wasn't easy. And now when I think, and I had no friends, like I had no friends. I only knew one person and she was in and out. I didn't know anybody. I used to stay at my dad's sister's house and she lives in Malabar Hill, and I would literally every day from there take a taxi and go to Andheri and audition Aram Nagar 1
That's
and
two
2.
hours, two
Yeah.
hours.
No C-Link, nothing. You go to like Prabha Devi and Mahim, and that's how you would go, and
Yeah.
that's what you would do. And you would go there and you would audition, and I never knew how to audition. So it really, the only thing I would say is once you do the Kingfisher calendar, it did make life easier because people then recognize you. And then you're not constantly proving yourself like, oh, that girl from London or America. They kind of know who you are, especially 20 years ago. The calendar was a really big deal. Like
Oh,
it was
yes,
a
of course.
huge,
It
yeah.
launched
So
so
I think,
many careers.
yeah, honestly, it did because after that, I auditioned for a Telugu movie with Chiranjeevi and I did a Telugu film. Again, that was really hard. Like Telugu is not like Hindi or Gujarati. It's hard. And I think now girls are more prepped and like they're more like prepared to do things. But back then, like a 21-year-old really is a naive 21-year-old. Like there's an innocence and this you just if whatever you feel you said, I was not polished at all. So you could tell I found it quite difficult.
What was it
Yeah.
working in the Telugu industry? Because at that time it hadn't quite acquired the polish it has now
No,
with,
no.
Triple
It was,
R and Bahubali.
yeah. But I worked with Prabhu Deva as a director. I worked with a great production house. I worked with Chiranjeevi. So I think at that time I worked with the best. I still think they are the best.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
again came with from Matrix, so I had a manager with me. But it was difficult, like when you've never acted before, and you know, um, it's a different language and the way they act is not subtle. They're quite expressive and
Expressive.
it very expressive. And so it was, but I have to say, I was thinking about it the other day because I'm in Dubai now, and I was just telling my friend that, like, oh, I've been here, I've come here, I was shooting here. And then I just thought to myself, I have done so much work, and good, bad, ugly, but it just has shaped me to what I am as a person now. But I feel I've worked with the best, whether it was with Kingfisher, whether it was Chiranjeevi Garu, like I've worked with really good people. So though it was tough, they made it easy for me, easier for me.
What about the Hindi film industry? That was tough, a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, so I've always honestly wanted to do anchoring and I've stuck to that. I've been very lucky with some of the roles that I've done because they've come to me. I've not really gone out of my way for them. I whether it was Freaky Ali or my movie now with Bobby Deol or anything like that, I haven't it's because I became a name as an anchor that a producer was like, okay, she might suit this part. Let's call her in, let her read the lines and dekhte ki kya hoga. I didn't actively ever want to pursue a career in Bollywood. Maybe I think maybe when I was 25, 26, you want to dabble into things. But I've realized that you can be a part of the entertainment industry, but it doesn't have to just be Bollywood. There's a lot of other things you can do and
Right.
still be a part of it.
Right.
So yeah,
So cricket really has transformed your career, I think. You've become
I feel big
an expert,
boss.
I
And then
guess.
after, no. I'm still not an expert, but I think Big Boss really changed my life in a big way. And then after that, the IPL, because I've always said this before, Big Boss is a very big platform. And if people like you know, you can make a lot of money and do very, very well. But just being
Right,
loud and aggressive and getting attention on the show doesn't mean you're going to get longevity out of the show. You know, you might get short
right.
term, you know, wow, that girl was so loud or that guy was so this. I think after Big Boss, I auditioned straight away for the IPL. And then I think that year was a bittersweet year because I lost my dad in 2020, but then I got Big Boss. And then after Big Boss, I got IPL. So much happened in 2013. Um, but it was like a year of growth. So I think I would say
Right.
Big Boss, 12 weeks on a show like that is not easy. Um,
No, I mean, how
and
did
then
you do it?
I don't even know because I'm a really opinionated person. But you have to like argue with people who have that sense and sensibility. I'm not going to argue with you over food and this and that because it's just kiddish. Like you argue with somebody who's like is an argument, right? I'm not just gonna do things just so I get screen time. So I don't know how I lasted on that show for 12 weeks, but maybe just I don't know how it happened, but I was on the show for 12 weeks, which was quite tough. I
That's
wouldn't
quite long.
recommend the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very difficult. It's like Vipassana. Like you have no connection to the outside world.
Hmm.
It's people think it's scripted, but it's really not. There's like there's no watch, there's no time, you have no pen, you have no paper, there's no mobile phone, you really have no access to the outside world. You can't call a friend and even discuss a situation. You have to use your own basic instinct and your own you know, sense and sensibility, like okay, this is happening, and you can't even, who do you discuss anything with? So it
Hmm.
was tough, but then after that, IPL was a really big deal for me because of that IPL and the IPLs I've done. I'm still working, so it's a very prestigious job to get, I feel.
Oh, yes. I think the IPL is the biggest gig in the game, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
short of the World Cup.
yeah. I mean, I worked on the World Cup in 2018 in the UK, but after IPL, it's really weird. I was always open to working. So I've
Right,
never been somebody who's like, I only want to do this, or I only want to do that. I was always open to doing good work. So
right.
even if it was Telugu and I didn't speak the language, I'm like, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna learn, I want to take this opportunity. So even with IPL, it was like a very new format, T20, when you come from test cricket to having a fast-paced, you know, an hour and a half, 2, 3 hours. It's very quick compared to test cricket. But I was like, I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna understand. And I'm gonna do my best. So I would literally watch a lot of cricket, sit with my producers, and live television in front of 60,000 people on a stage is
It's
very tough, you know.
nerve-wracking.
Yes, it is.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it is because I'll be interviewing you, but there's somebody in my ear telling me to throw to something, telling me to throw to a sponsor, telling me that there's a six, telling me that, okay, the player has changed. Now we have somebody else. And somebody's speaking English, somebody's not speaking English. And then you have to last minute speak in Hindi and your questions are all a certain way. And it was chaos, but it was amazing. The adrenaline was amazing.
Do you have any favorite person that you interviewed or that you like to
I'll
sort of interact?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously when I like even interviewing Sachin, you know,
Oh,
was
yeah,
was
must be
quite like,
brilliant.
yeah, and you have to play it cool, like, oh, like, okay, hey, like, what's up? And I'm like a fan, and you have to be poised, and you can't act like, you know, this giggly jungly, and you know, you have to be like you're live on camera. After you've done your interview, you can obviously, I obviously said I'm a very big fan,
You can be
but
the
I've been
fan
very
girl.
lucky. Yeah, but I've been lucky. I've been interviewed a Dhoni, a Virat, a Sachin. I mean, even the British players. It's just really like an honor. It's a great job, and I think cricket teaches you that. not every day is going to be the same. Like sometimes somebody, gets a century and the next day they're out for 3 runs and they still have to go back. So it's a great sport. You can learn from sports, and the
Yeah,
discipline
for
that
sure.
athletes have is it's a hard life, right? Like you're just traveling from city to city, place to place. It could be 44 degrees, and people will say this, you're used to it. No, you're not used to the summer of Rajasthan, and they're still at it, and they're playing, and they're doing a good job. So I like what I do.
Great. So
So
what
yeah.
next, Karishma? I believe you're the face of Qatar tourism as well. Well done.
Qatar, thank you. I did a big campaign for them in the UK for Qatar, which was great. Then last year I got a chance to shoot for Vogue in the Middle East, which was lovely. I met Prince Charles at the British
King
Asian
now.
Trust. Yes, King, the King and I met. And then that was great. So it's been a fun year work-wise. It's been great. So a lot more cricket. So you can see if you're wondering what I'm up to, I'll be at one stadium to another. That's what I'll be up to. And I'm hoping that my movie with Bobby Deol called Shlok will release. We shot that a year and a half ago in the UK. And yeah, so lots of cricket and yeah, some more.
And you still audition for Hindi or other cinema, other movies?
No, I do get quite a lot of calls and I am very open to doing good work, but I'm not actively auditioning. I think it's
Right.
it's it's unless it's something really meaty, I'm quite happy doing a full-time job of, hosting. I think Mandira Bedi paved the way, and
Oh,
there's a
yes.
lot of opportunities for women in sports journalism and sports anchoring, and I think it's the best time. Like, it's equal. So I'm really enjoying where I am now. I always thought I'd be like an MTV presenter or travel presenter, but here I am.
I mean, it couldn't be better. It's two of
Yeah,
India's biggest obsessions,
yeah,
cinema
yeah,
and cricket. So
yeah, yeah.
brilliant.
So I've got one
Yeah.
of them, so I'm happy.
Well done. Thank you so much, Karishma. It was a pleasure to
Thank
talk to you. And
you.
I will look out for the movie
Likewise.
when it releases.
Yes, thank you, my love, and I will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye. 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 Bye.